I was able to close over 750 high-ticket paying clients for just under $5 million, and I did it with one simple framework that you guys can use inside of your sales calls as well. So whether you're a high-ticket closer or business owner and you're selling things like biz ops, services, information, really whatever it is, if you just remember these 4 key little things, you will close at a way higher rate. So without further ado, let's jump the hell in and stay till the end so that you can increase your close rate to 40%. Well, how was I able to close over 750 clients? It was a really simple framework actually. It was BANT, B-A-N-T, budget, authority, need, and timeline. And I'm going to go into each and every single one and how you guys can use this, structure it into your calls so that you can close at a way higher rate. Let's start with B, budget. So when it comes to budget, what's the worst way to ask your prospect what their budget is? Well, it's probably just that, to literally ask them, did you have a budget in mind for this project? So what we can do is ask them about their previous history in looking into an investment like this, an investment into a service, a business opportunity, a product, or information. Yeah, Hunter, so given that you told me that you've already tried XYZ in the past, and by the way, what did that cost when you did that before? Oh, okay. And now you see how I have their budget that they've previously used, and if it's not even in the ballpark as what I'm about to charge them, then I'll have to confront that. But if it's very, very close, then I'm going to have a very easy time fitting myself within their budget. Next is A, authority, meaning does the prospect on the other end have the authority to go through and make a decision? And the worst way that you can possibly do this, and that I see a lot of young entrepreneurs and young hustlers doing, is asking them, is everyone on the call that can make a decision, or are all decision makers present? What a horrible way to trigger a ton of sales resistance and not get a close at the end of the call. It's probably the worst way of doing it. So what I asked in my calls was, and can you walk me through your decision-making process when it comes to maybe picking a new marketing vendor? And if they told me, yeah, I mean, it's really easy. I just meet with people and then I make a decision. Cool, then that sounds great. If they tell me that there's a business partner or they already have a marketer, that's a way less confrontational way of me finding out that this might need to be a 2-call close, meaning that I don't want to give them the price at the end. I want to leave them on a bit of a cliffhanger, schedule out a second call, and get all parties involved that need to make the decision. Another key way that you can ask it, if they have the authority to make it, is, yeah, and just getting started in your business. When you had a startup budget, did you have any loans to pay off? Did you have any business partners when you got started? And that's a way less confrontational way to ask if all decision makers are present on the call. N, need. This is just really simply, does your client have a desire to actually use you as a vendor or product or service or business opportunity? And if you can't widen the gap of the client's need, you'll never be able to close them. So I've already done a video on this, for example, where I was able to take a sales call with a very high level prospect, meaning they were already really successful. Most closers out there, entrepreneurs, would fumble this sales call because they're trying to find a pain framework and they're like, well, where does it hurt? What are you doing right now that's not working? And the prospect would probably be like, well, not a lot. I'm actually crushing it right now, Hunter. So what I had to do is find a deep need. And on that call, what I did is his need was exiting the business. He really wanted to, but it was already making him so much money. So I expanded the gap massively by asking what he was going to do after he exited the business. Was he going to consult others? How much it was going to build and raise his status? How much that would make his life better? And I took him so far away from the money that he was already making that it seemed like he was now at a new level on the call with me, but going back to his little company didn't really reflect that. So he was fully bought in on selling his company and using me as a marketer so that he could have a consistent stream of new patients so it would look good to a new buyer coming in to buy his company. So that's how I was able to find a deep need with him. And there's really only 2 needs that you'll find on every single sales call. One is a pain framework and the other is an outcome framework. That was an example of an outcome framework that you'll have to use for very successful clients, but less sophisticated clients, you can just use a pain framework. What's been going on? How long has it been going on? What is it costing you per month to not fix the problem? How much are you leaving on the table by not fixing it? Really simple questions like that is a typical pain framework that you can use on every single call. And the last one is T, timeline. And this is without a doubt the number one thing that I see all entrepreneurs fumble on their sales calls. They'll give a beautiful presentation, they'll find the gap, they'll widen the gap, they'll make the customer's desire super deep to the point that they're asking the closer what the price is, and the closer has found out that they are the decision maker. So then the closer gets really excited and goes in and gives them the price, goes over next steps, and then that same prospect will be like, awesome, Hunter, this sounds great. So, I wanted to get this started in September, and it's only August 1st right now. So reach out to me back then, and guess how many times you are going to get back on a sales call with somebody that already knows the price and how often they're going to do it, and they're actually going to come back to you in a month? Probably 0%. In fact, in my 750 high ticket closes online, maybe only 5 of them came back after telling me that they had a logistical problem, which was a timeline problem. So what you guys need to do is, first of all, find somebody's budget by asking about their previous experience. Find out if they are the end-all be-all authority, making that they can make the decision, and asking it in a way that's non-confrontational. Finding their deep-rooted need and expanding that gap and making it to seem impossible to get to their desired outcome without you. And once you find all of those things and you deem them a good fit and you give them a legitimate reason why they're a good fit from everything they just told you, you then ask, awesome, Hunter, so I think you'd be a great fit. Before I kind of jump in and share my screen and how the nuts and the bolts of how the program works, assuming that you think you'd be a good fit too, when would be the soonest that you would want to get started? And you can catch this early, because if that same person says, yeah, Hunter, yeah, that sounds great. I agree that I'm a great fit too. I want to get started in September. Now I can align a second call for the week before in September, give them a price range, but not show them all my cards and give them the exact price. Or I can tell them the other side of it is that it normally takes us 2 to 3 weeks to get ready. So that's actually perfect timing, and we should get started today unless we want to delay and procrastinate and start even later than he wants to. But for the most part, during your sales calls, if you want to avoid all that, you guys can use what I coin as anchor statements, meaning that you're dropping a belief statement and the customer might feel awkward not agreeing with you. So you can be like, yeah, Hunter, so a lot of people want to blow up their chiropractic practice, for example, and a lot of people, when they decide that they're a good fit, would want to get started yesterday. So assuming that you'd be a great fit, would you kind of align with most people that I work with, meaning that if you thought this was a good fit, you'd want to get started yesterday too? And you'll have a lot of people just kind of fall in line because it's just a natural human tendency to want to do what everybody else is doing. So after you master the BANT frame, B-A-N-T, budget, authority, need, and timeline, you'll find that you close at a way higher rate and you don't actually get objections in the first place. And I'm going to make a bunch of videos on overcoming objections, but what I've found is whenever I overpowered somebody into a sale, I was always left with angry customer reviews, refunds, and chargebacks. So for the most part, if you can just master the BANT framework, take it on every single call, you will close at a way higher rate. Also, if you're closing high ticket online right now and you want to work one-on-one with me, just hit the link in the description.